This video is for those of you in or approaching your 70s. First of all, congratulations. Or those of you who have a retirement account and someday you hope to be in your 70s or are going to inherit an account from someone, whether they are in their 70s or not. I'm going to guess that covers many of you. And what I'm going to be doing today and over the course of a two-part presentation is trying to translate in non-financial ease terms what we mean by RMD, or required minimum distribution. In this first part, I'm going to be explaining really what it is and why it is, and then in part two, some of the things you need to consider depending on your age, your spouse's age, whether or not you may inherit an account, and how that RMD rule affects you. I've had a number of my clients kind of confused about when they get letters from different companies saying, this is your RMD and it's due by such and such a date, and they're not even quite sure what they're talking about, or that just seems really important. So let's talk about what it is, when it started, and why it's in effect. The RMD, or required minimum distribution, was actually started in 1974. And the reason would be they being the government, they don't want you passing your money on from generation to generation without being taxed. Given the fact that for Congress, whether it's income tax from people that are working or income tax paid on money coming out of retirement plans, IRAs or 401ks or 403bs, that's their main checkbook. That's the money they have to spend primarily for all of the different services that the government is supposed to provide. The RMD works by a calculation figuring out the amount of money that you have in IRAs or 403bs or 401ks at the end of the prior year. So on December 31st of the prior year, those totals added all up, combined with a formula or a divisor, will determine how much you have to take out the following year or the present year for your RMD. The government's really serious about you taking this out. If you don't, the penalty is severe. It used to be, until very recently, used to be 50%. So let's say your RMD was $4,000. Well, the penalty would be half of that, or $2,000, and they'd still tax the $4,000. So they're serious about that. They have reduced that now to 25%, so it's still severe, not quite as stiff. So in summary, the RMD, required minimum distribution, started in 1974, has to do with retirement accounts, and they figure it out by the prior year's totals and apply a divisor depending on your age, and that will tell you how much has to come out for the present year. Now, there's a lot that I didn't cover, like how does that formula change as you get older, and what if you have more than one account and different kinds of accounts? I hope this first part was helpful in explaining what an RMD is, why it exists, and why it's important that you follow the rules. In part two, I'm going to be explaining a little bit about some of the nuance of those rules, and depending on your age, the age of your spouse, and whether or not you inherit an account, how you have to play by those rules. So stay tuned. Hope to see you in the next video.